everybody, it is April and I am in my craft room. Stop. Don't turn away yet. I have one thing to say. Get your annual breast exam. It could save your life. That's it. You can go on. Although I am going to make a 3-yard quilt from the new 3-yard quilt book. So you might want to stick around. I am coming to you on the last day of October to make a breast cancer awareness quilt. I'm excited. I love all of these patterns. And the pattern we're going to use today is called Charmed. It's the one at the top in the middle. So let's get started. Now I can't share measurements with you because this book does not belong to me. But I will put a link below to Fabric Cafe where you can go purchase this book. Or you can buy 3 of their 3-yard kits and get a free book. So check that out. I will also put a link to it if it's on Amazon, if you're like, want it super quick, where I'll get a penny or two if you order it from that link. The fabric that I'm using has a story behind it. If only I could find the fabric. It is this fabric. It's Faust Textiles. And honestly, I think maybe I don't know where I found it. But I thought it was so pretty. I bought 4 yards because I thought, I'm going to use it as a quilt backing. I don't want to put it on the back of a quilt. Look at this. This design deserves front of the quilt positioning. So that's what I've decided to do, and it is going to be my focal fabric. In my defense, I didn't say it was an exciting story. Save the tatas! Now, I don't know if you're familiar with 3-yard quilts. 3-yard quilts are exactly what they say they are. 3 yards of fabric make a quilt. Your fabric 1 is your focal fabric. So this is the fabric that I want everyone to see. Fabric 2 and 3 should coordinate with your focal fabric, but their placement depends on their coloring. So I decided for fabric 2 and 3, I wanted this gray and this pink. Because fabric 3 should be the darkest of the 2 other fabrics, this will become fabric 3, and this will become fabric 2. Now I am cutting out per the requirements in the book. So I've got a lot of strips. The Fabric Cafe crew make the quilt pattern as easy as possible. So let me finish cutting up my fabric. There's Oliver. Oliver says hi. He always seems to know when I'm going to cut up fabric. I will come back and show you how to put your blocks together. When I do strip piecing for Fabric Cafe quilts, I don't cut the selvage off because I'm going to be cutting up the fabric anyway. So there's really no reason to cut the selvage off first, because as I trim up my strips, I will cut the selvage off then. And Oliver's helping me. Alrighty, so I've got all my pieces, all of my strips cut. I don't have all the borders cut because I might want a wider border so that my final quilt is a little bigger. If you want to make it bigger not using the border method, the book will clearly explain to you for each pattern what you need to do, how much more fabric you need in order to make more blocks to make your quilt larger. Okay, let's get on with the quilt. We're on a timeline here. All right, Charmed. I also noticed that the patterns are in alphabetical order. I don't know if that's true for all the books, but I believe it is true for this one. All right, referring to block A, assembly step 1, they have pictures. I love pictures. I am going to take fabric 2. I'm going to sew to the top of a fabric 3, trim it even with the sides, and repeat on the bottom. Save the tatas! I am making a minor adjustment to the pattern. So here is my fabric 3 strip. Instead of subcutting this strip, I left it all in one piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add fabric 2 to either side of it and then subcut it, only because I'm lazy. Now, I will let you know if my experiment does not work, because there may very well be a reason that they didn't say to do it this way in the book. Stay tuned. I sewed one strip to the other strip, and I will do the same to the other side. So here I have my first strip. Now I need to press it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my seam. And as you can see, I didn't sew all the way because I know I don't need this whole strip. Okay, then I'm going to press to the darker side. Although really the pink could be considered dark, but in this instance, I think it's okay to go towards the gray. And I'm not ironing, I'm pressing. This is fabric 2 and this is fabric 3. All right, so let's lay this out. And now I need to subcut. Now the directions called for subcutting this fabric 3 before I sewed on the strips, but I think I like this way better. 2. Here he comes. Okay, Oliver, really? Now I need to put gray on either side so I can form a block. I will be right back. I'm going to sew strips on either side. So I have finished with a portion of block A. Now I need to take this and I need to add fabric 1 around the outside edges. So I will do that next. I have created my 6 blocks that are going to look like this. Now, essentially what I'm going to do is the same thing I did with those blocks, but I'm going to use fabric 1. And again, I'm going to keep this in a strip instead of subcutting it. And then I'm going to border that with fabric 2, which is exactly what I did on the first block. So here I've got fabric 3 bordered by fabric 2, and then it's bordered by fabric 1. So my next block will be fabric 1 bordered by fabric 2, bordered by, you guessed it, fabric 3. So let me go throw those blocks together and I'll be right back. Notice I did not remove my selvage edges. So I am going to start at the end of my strip, and then I will cut my selvage edges off when I subcut my blocks. So here I have my strip, and now I need to subcut it. And be careful when you subcut it, because you could end up with a block like this instead of a block like this, which is the right size. Wrong size, right size. I guess I cut this like an inch, the center an inch longer than it was supposed to be. So now I have something that I can use to make a pillow that will match. See? Lemon lemonade. I'm still using my Fabric Hut blades. They cut like a charm. All right, I have my 6 partial blocks. I need to add gray, which is fabric 2, to either side, and then we'll come back and we'll be adding fabric 3. Save the tatas! Oliver is here to help me again. Now I have sewn the gray strips. I am going to trim up each side. Just like this. And the next step will be to add the pink all the way around. Now, once that is done, we'll be ready to put this block and the blocks that I did earlier on the design wall. I will be back just like that. Save the tatas! I have 2 different blocks. I have this block and I have this block. Now I'm going to put them up on the design wall, however the pattern tells me to. The block with fabric 1 around the outside goes first, and I have 4 rows of 3. So there we have it. Now I just need to sew the rows together. On the pattern, the border here is the gray, which is fabric 2. And then the outside border from there is fabric 3. I think I'm going to do the gray outside border, and then my outside border from there is going to be fabric 1, just because I like it so much. So let me throw this together, add a couple borders, and we'll see what it looks like completed. Before I do my big quilt reveal, I want to do some shout outs for some people who have emailed me and made comments on my channel. Michelle, I love your quilts and your choice of colors. Looks great. Thank you for sharing it with me. Dixie, I would like to thank you for the cup of coffee. I very much appreciate it. Gotta have my caffeine. Sarah, great design on the jelly roll with the panel. I think I did a similar design like that with a Barbie quilt, or Barbie panel. I should say Barbie quilt, Barbie panel. And great minds think alike. Carol Lloyd, great idea for another variation of using the strips with the panels. I'm definitely going to be using that one. Connie in Kentucky, you just can't convince everyone that panels are awesome. And, you know, all we can do is try. And if we don't convert people, that just means more panels for us. But thank you for trying. Okay, are you all ready for the big reveal? Here it is. Ta-da! Now, if you notice, I kind of changed my mind. Instead of using fabric 1 for my border, I had this Riley Blake ribbon, and I decided to use it. That just saves more of this for a future project. I also have my backing picked out already. Dee actually gave me this. So I made sure that my quilt wasn't going to be any bigger. And this is a fleece with hearts and the ribbons. And that is also what I plan on doing as far as quilting this quilt. I will definitely share it with you when it's done. If it ends up looking okay, and I think with the border that I picked it will, I plan on just rolling this over, and this is going to be my binding as well, which will make it a little faster to finish. One more bit of preachiness. Please, please, please get your annual exam. It could save your life. You are very important to me. You watch my videos. You validate my making YouTube videos. And I want you to be around for a while. How can I get a YouTube silver play button if something were to happen to you? So please take care of yourself. Okay, I'm done preaching now. Have a great day. Eat some chocolate and be kind to everyone. Until next time, bye. Save the tatas! La, 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 la. From the stash. Surprised I made it through that. Get more intricate. Don't ya? You got eye boogers. Can't have eye boogers on YouTube, dude. I just added a word. What are you doing, buddy? In the